everybody. Hello and welcome to another Facebook Live lesson with me, Teacher Wayne, from the Young Learner Program at CAM-ASEAN. Now, today we're going to do a little bit of grammar. Okay, so we're going to do some common grammar errors, common grammar mistakes. It's kind of vocabulary and grammar at the same time. It's kind of half and half. Okay, so we're just going to look at 5 common mistakes that people make when they are learning English. Okay, so we're going to look at the difference between how we write different words. Okay, so let's get going then. So it's 5 common grammar errors in English. They're very common that many English students, they make these mistakes very often. Okay, so let's start. These are the types of words that we are going to be looking at. Okay, your and your, then and than, there and there. So many of these words, they sound the same when we speak, but we write them differently and we use them in different ways to mean different things. It's and its, to and to. Okay, we're going to look at them now, so don't worry if you look at all these and you think, oh no, what's he talking about? Okay, so let's begin. What are we going to look at first? First, we're going to look at the difference between your and your. Okay, they sound exactly the same when we say them, but we use them in different ways, and when we write them down, we write them in different ways as well. So first of all, we've got the red your, okay, which is on your left, I think. Okay, we'll just call it the red your. Okay, so the red your, we use that when we talk about things that belong to you. Now, when we say you, we are talking about the person we are talking to. Okay, so when I say you, then you are you from my point of view. You are the person I'm talking to. Okay, and if you say you, that means you're talking to me. Okay, so we use your when we talk about things that belong to the person we are talking to. Okay, so the word that we use when we talk about things that belong to people is possession. A possession. A possession is something that belongs to somebody. Okay, this mobile phone is mine, therefore it is my possession. It belongs to me. Okay, now let's look at the green your. Now, that little funny shapes there between the U and the R, we call that, can anybody say that word there? We call that an we call that an apostrophe. An apostrophe. And apostrophes, they can do different things in English, but today we're going to look at the job that they do in this type of grammar, which is when we use them instead of a letter. Okay, so this is actually 2 words. We write it like it's 1 word because it's a very common word. Okay, sometimes in English there are 2 words that go together very often. So instead of writing 2 words, we make them smaller and we write them as 1 word. So we usually remove a letter and we replace a letter with the apostrophe. Now, can you think what 2 words would they be? U, then apostrophe, and R-E. Which letter do you think the apostrophe is replacing? Well, if you said A, you were correct. Well done. Your means you are. You are. 2 words, but the apostrophe is replacing the A. So it's 2 words and it means you are. Okay, so let's look at the differences where we would use them in sentences. So we've got the red your, okay, which means possession, something that belongs to you. Okay, what's happening there? Well, we could say your mum is angry. Your mum is angry. She looks very angry there, doesn't she? Ooh, she looks very scary. Okay, now we would say your mum because it's the mother that belongs to you. Okay, your mum. It's not my mum. Okay, it's not anybody else's mum. It's your mum. Okay, something else we might say using your, we might say your bike is broken. Whose bike? My bike? No. Their bike? No. Our bike? No. Your bike. Okay, your bike belongs to you. Now let's look at the green your, okay, which means you are. Let's use it in a sentence. We might follow it, you are, we might follow that with a noun, okay? Remember what a noun is? A noun is just a name, a person, a place, or a thing. The name that we give to things. So for example, we might say, you're a teacher. You're a teacher, which means you are a teacher. You are a teacher. Or we might follow it with a verb. Okay, we can follow it with a verb. We could say, you're tired, which means you are tired. Okay, it's the same. You are tired or you're tired. Right, let's look at the difference between it's and its. It sounds the same. Okay, so the red it's there, we use that again when we talk about possession. Okay, but this time it's not a possession that belongs to you. It's a possession that belongs to, often we would use it perhaps for an animal, maybe a pet, a dog or a cat. Okay, or sometimes we might use it for a very young baby, especially if we don't know if the baby or the cat or the dog, if we don't know if it's a boy or a girl, okay, sometimes we might say it. If a lady is pregnant, okay, we might say, she might say, oh, it's kicking, which means the baby is kicking. Okay, so you have to remember with it, okay, if you know that somebody or something, if you know if it's a boy or a girl, it's very rude to say it. Okay, you have to be careful with the word it. If you know that what you're talking about, if you know that the person you're talking about is a girl, you must always say she or her. If you know that it's a boy, you must always say he or him. It's very rude to say, it's very rude to call people it. Okay, we only say it in very special cases. Okay, so possession, we would use it for possession, meaning it's his or it's hers. And we also use it to talk about something that we already know. We already know what it is. For example, well, we'll look at it in a second, but this type of it's we call a pronoun, but I'll show you it in a second, okay? The green it's on the other side. Now, do you remember what the name of that funny shape is called? It's called a apostrophe. And what does the apostrophe do in this type of grammar? It replaces a letter, so we use it instead of a letter. So it's is actually 2 words. Can you guess what the words would be? What letter is the apostrophe replacing? Well, if you said I for is, well done, very good. The letter is I, so it actually means it is. it is. Right, let's look at these in sentences then. So we've got it's on the left, which means possession. And let's have a picture of a very cute dog. Okay, now we're talking about the dog. We don't know if the dog is a boy or a girl. Okay, so often we might say, if we're talking about the ball belongs to the dog. We don't know if the dog is a boy or a girl, so we can just say its ball. Its ball, which means the dog's ball. We can say the dog's ball as well, but it's common to say its ball. And we also use this type of its when we already know what we're talking about. Now, this is what I meant by a pronoun. Okay, pronouns are, well, we could do a whole lesson on pronouns. Maybe we will in the future. But for now, I will just give you the example. She held the bag by its handle. Okay, now, what do you think it means there? She held the bag by its handle. Well, now we're saying it's because we're talking about the bag, okay? We could say she held the bag by the bag's handle, okay? The handle that belongs to the bag. But that doesn't sound very normal, okay? We don't want to keep saying the bag all of the time. We can say it once so that the person knows that we're talking about the bag. And then after that, we can just use the pronoun it. Okay, a bag is an it. Okay, so we can say she held the bag. We don't have to say she held the bag by the bag's handle. It's more common to say she held the bag by its handle because we already know that it means the bag. Okay, so if we're talking in the same sentence, we say the bag at the beginning of the sentence so that people know that every time we say it after, we're talking about the bag. She held the bag by its handle. It was brown. It was big. It was expensive. Okay, every time I'm saying it, I'm talking about the bag. Right, let's look at the green it's there then, which means it is. Okay, so we use this in a very different way. We might use it, for example, to say it's 10 past 10. We might use it to say what the time is. Okay, it is 10 past 10. And because it's 10 past 10, we might say it's bedtime. Okay, which again means it is bedtime. Okay, so that's the difference between it's in the red and it's in the green with the apostrophe. They are both used in very different ways. You must remember not to confuse them. Right, let's look at the next one. This one is quite a common mistake. To versus two. Now the red to with two O's, it can mean different things. It can mean also. It can mean as well, which kind of means the same as also. It can mean very, and it can mean more than, like, for example, too much. That's what I mean by more than. We can say too much. And then we've got the green to, okay, which in normal speaking, when we're speaking, often we just pronounce it as t. The two on the left, the red two, we would pronounce that as two, but the green two on the right, we often pronounce that as t. Now, the meaning of the green two, there are many, many, many different meanings of this two in English. We could spend a very long time talking about the different ways that that two is used in English. But just today, okay, because we don't have time to talk about the many different ways this two is used, We'll just look at a couple of ways it's used. So number one, it's used to show or to talk about a direction. Okay, a direction is where something is going, forward, backwards, to the shops, to the left, to the right. Okay, to talk about the direction that something is happening. And it can also be used to show a relationship between two things, how two things are connected to each other in the sentence. Okay, I'll show you an example. So let's first look at the red two, or two. Okay, and that means also, or as well, or it can mean very, or it can mean more than. When I say more than, I mean like too much, too much. So for example, we might have a boy here. He's saying, can I have some food too? What he's saying there, he's using to. Perhaps his friend had some food, or all of his friends had some food, but he didn't have any food. So he's saying, can I have some food too? He could also say, could I have some food also? Could I have some food as well as my friends? Okay, they all have very similar meanings. What's happening here? Oh, the driver, she looks very happy, but her passenger, she doesn't look very happy. What's happening here? Maybe she's saying, you're driving too fast. You're driving too fast. Okay, and in this case, too means like too much or more than enough, too much. Or it could also mean very. You're driving very fast. You're driving too fast. Slow down. Right, let's look at the green to. Okay, this is a very different way of using to mean direction. Okay, so for example, you might say something like, I'm walking to the shop. I'm walking to the shop. I'm running to my friends. I'm jogging to the park. Okay, I'm moving to the left. I'm moving to the right. We use it to talk about the way or the direction that something is happening. And it can also mean something like the dog is chained to the fence. In that example, we're saying that there is a connection or a relationship between the dog and the fence. To say that there is some kind of connection between two things in the sentence. Like I said, the green to there are many different ways in English that to is used. I think the green to there is probably one of the most used words in English. Right, okay, let's move on. Now, these are very common errors. Even people who speak English as a first language, so even people from the UK, America, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, even they get these confused. There, and there. Okay, now we're going to look. If you can understand the difference between these three, okay, you will probably know a lot more than many English speakers themselves. Right. Remember, with the yellow there, okay, we have an apostrophe. Now, do you remember what does an apostrophe mean? An apostrophe means that it replaces a letter. In this case, it replaces a. So what are the two words if it replaces a? They are. Okay, so the yellow there, it means they are. Now let's look at the red there. Now that means possession. Okay, again, we've done your and its. Now we're doing their. It's a possession, but this possession is a possession that belongs to them. Okay, whenever we talk about them, we use them to talk about more than one person that does not include ourselves. Okay, If we talk about more than one person that includes ourselves, we say us. But to talk about more than one person that does not include ourselves, we use them. Okay? And if we talk about something that belongs to them, we would say their or theirs. Okay? And the green there is used to talk about a place. Okay? Or it's also used to talk about something that is true. Okay, so for example, to talk about a place, we might say over there, over there. Where is my phone? Oh, my phone is over there. Okay, so we use that to talk about a place. Or we might say something like, there are 3 phones over there. Oh, we've used there many times in that sentence. In that case, we're just using it to talk about something that is true. There are 3 phones over there. There are, meaning just something that is true. There are 3 phones over there. Okay, let's look at some more examples. So we've got the yellow there, which, if you remember, is they are. So we might say something like, well, let's look at these children. What are they doing? We might say something like they're eating, which means they are eating. Okay, let's look at the other picture. Oh, what are they? What type of people are they? We might say they're soldiers. They're soldiers. They're people in the army, it looks like. Or we could say they are soldiers. Okay, it means exactly the same. Let's look at the red there. Can you remember what the red there means? The red there is something that belongs to them. So it's possession. Okay, we might say something like, oh, look at their hands. Their hands are dirty. Okay, their hands are dirty. And we say their because the hands belong to them. They don't belong to me. They don't belong to you. They don't belong to us. They belong to them. So we use their. Okay, or this one here. Does anyone know this pop group? I think many people know this. I think that's BTS. BTS. Now, look in this sentence here. We're using 2 types of their. We're using the yellow there, meaning they are, and we're using the red there as well. They're singing their song. They are singing their song. And we're using their to say that the song belongs to them. The song is theirs. Okay, let's look at the green there. Do you remember what the green there means? It means a place. We use that to talk about the place. So we might say, oh, look, there's a person putting his hand up. We might say something like, there he is. There he is. I can see him. He's putting his hand up. There he is over there. Okay, so we're using that to talk about a place. He is in this place, which means over there, or that place. Okay, or we might also use it to say that something is true. So we might say something like, there are many temples there. Let's say we're talking about Siem Reap. Okay, we might say, there are many temples there. Okay, the second there, we're using that to talk about a place. The first there, we're using that to talk about something that is true. There are. There are. There are, blah, blah, blah. It just means something that is true. Okay, let's move on then. We've got the next ones then. So we've got then versus than, another common mistake. Okay, so the red then, we use that to show or to talk about time. Okay, or we also use it to talk about a sequence. A sequence means things that happen Something happens first, then something happens after, then something happens after that, then something happens after that. Okay? Then. And we've got the green there, which is than. Okay? And we use than. Does anybody know what we use than for? Well, we use than to compare things. To compare means to look at most usually two things and to talk about the difference between them. Okay, you might say that building is taller than my school. So we're comparing the building with the school. Taller than, shorter than, bigger than, smaller than. Okay, we use than when we compare things. Let's look at some examples then. So with the red then, we use that to talk about time, and it often means at that time. So we might say something like, oh, and it also means after that, but let's first look at that time. So, oh, that's my home. That's where I used to live. So I might say something like, I was living in London then. Okay, I was living in London then, or I could also say at that time. I was living in London at that time. Okay, which is what then means. Or we could use it to mean after that. If we're talking about a sequence, which is this happened first, then this happened, then this happened, then this happened. Okay, we might say something like, I got up, then I took a shower. Then I got dressed. Then I ate my breakfast. Then I went to school. Okay, we use it to talk about a sequence. And we can also use then to mean after that. Okay, it often means after that. I got up. After that, I took a shower. After that, I got dressed. Right, then we've got the green than. If you remember, we use that to compare things. Okay, so we might have a brother and sister maybe, and the sister might be saying, he is taller than me. He is taller than me. Okay, or we might have some students. I recognize those students. They are my students, so I might say something like, YLP students are smarter than other students. Which is true. It's true. They are smarter than other students. Okay, so we're using than there to compare. Okay, we're comparing YLP students with other students. Right, okay, let's have a little quiz. Let's see what you remember. Right, so we've got this picture here. Now, is it the green yaw or is it the red yaw? Your mum is angry, but is it the green yaw or is it the red yaw? Well, the easy way to remember is the green yaw means you are. So say that sentence in your head, you are mum is angry. Does that make sense? No. You are mum is angry. That doesn't make any sense. So it must be the red yaw. Your mum is angry, meaning the mum or the mother belongs to you. Okay, let's look at the next one. So we've got a dog. Now, oh, this looks quite difficult. The dog is holding its ball in its mouth. Now, I'll give you a clue. It's the same its for both of them, but is it the green its or is it the red its? Well, let's do the same test. The red its means it is. So the dog is holding it is ball in it is mouth. Does that make sense? No, that doesn't make sense. So it must be the green. The dog is holding its ball, meaning the ball belongs to the dog. We don't know if the dog is a boy or a girl, so we say it's. Okay, in its mouth, the dog's mouth. Okay, it's very common if we know that the dog is a boy or we know that the dog is a girl, we can say he or she, or his or hers in this case. Okay, but it's very common, especially if we talk about animals, dogs and cats, it's common to just say its. Okay, right, what's this one there? So we've got, a choice of 3 there. So it's their house is worth $1 million. Wow. I wish I had a house that was worth $1 million. But is it the green there? Is it the red yet there? Or is it the yellow there? Well, the green there means over there. So that doesn't make sense. The yellow there means it belongs to them. And the red there means they are. So they are house is worth 1 million. That's not correct. Over there, house is worth $1 million. That's not correct. So it must be the yellow. Their house is worth $1 million. That means the house belongs to them. Right. Okay. Let's look at the next one. Oh, this looks very, very jolly. I gave a gift to my daughter or to my daughter. Is it the green 2 or is it the red 2? Now, I gave a gift to my daughter. Well, the red 2 means also or as well. I gave a gift as well to my daughter. That doesn't make sense. Does it mean too much? I gave a gift too much, my daughter? No, that doesn't make sense. He's giving the gift in a direction from him to his daughter. He's talking about the direction that he's giving the gift in. So it must be the green. I gave a gift to my daughter. Let's look at this one. Oh, this looks a little bit funny. Oh, and that's what it says. You're funny. You're funny. But is it the green you're funny or is it the red you're funny? Well, the green you're means what? Means belongs to you. Something that belongs to you. Does the monkey belong to you? I don't think so. What about the red you're? You are. You are funny. Aha, you are funny. And we know you are funny because the monkey is laughing. Okay, so it's the red you're. What about this one? Does anyone know this character, this man? Some of you are probably too young. But he might be saying, it's over there. But does he mean the green there? Does he mean the red there? Or does he mean the yellow there? Well, it's not the green, because the green means it belongs to them. It's not the yellow there, because that means they are. It's over they are. That doesn't make any sense. And it's the red. So it must be the red. It's over there, meaning a place. A place. Okay, what's this? Oh, that looks very bright. The sun is too bright. Is it the red 2 or the green 2? I think that this one, it means too much. Too much. It's too bright. I cannot see properly. It's too bright. So I think it's the green one. 2 with 2 O's. Right, okay, and this is the last one. So what is the correct one here? It's the end of the lesson or it's the end of the lesson? Well, the green it's, that means something that belongs to an it, might be an animal or a very young child if we don't know if it's a boy or a girl. Or is it the red it's? It is. It is the end of the lesson. It is the end of the lesson, so it must be the red it's. Okay, well done everybody. I hope you followed along with that. Remember, it's some of these are quite difficult to remember. You can always watch these videos again as many times as you need to. Okay, and like I always say, practice makes perfect. The more you practice using English, the easier it is. Right, let's move over to quizzes. So there should be a link somewhere above me or below me or to the side of me. So let's just move over now. Okay, and here we are in quizzes. Right. Okay, and here we are in quizzes. Okay, and here we are in quizzes. So this is the game. Remember, you can play yourself if you click on the link, or you can just watch me play, but it's much better if you play it yourself. Okay, let's see what we can remember. Okay, let's see. Question number 1. It's, is it too high or is it too high? Is it number 1 or number 2? I think it is number 1. It's too high. It means too much. Right, number 2. Very happy today. You're very happy today, or you're very happy today? Something that belongs to you? No. You are very happy today. Hooray. You are very happy today. Right, what's the next one? My suitcase is over there, or there. Number 1. Number 2 belongs to them, so that's not correct. Number 3, they are. My suitcase is over they are. That doesn't make any sense. So it must be number 1, there. My suitcase is over there. Okay, we've got to power up. Okay, what's question 4? Oh, he looks a bit silly. Your hair looks strange, but is it your or is it your? Is it you are? You are hair looks strange. That's not correct. So it must be this one. Your hair. Because it belongs to him. It's his hair. It belongs to him. Now, give it to me or give it to me. Now then, we're talking about is he talking about too much? No. Is he talking about a direction? Oh, give it to me. Move it from you to me. So it must be a direction. So it must be this one. Hooray. Right, what have we got here? I did my online class. Then I did my homework, or then I did my homework? Well, he's talking about a sequence. One thing happened, then another thing happened, then another thing happened. So it is then. Then. Right, question 7. Oh, it's raining or it's raining? It is raining. Oh, I think that's correct. It is raining. The rain doesn't belong to it, so it's this one. It is raining. Okay, this one. The dog is in its bed. The dog is in it is bed. That doesn't make any sense. So it must be this one. The bed belongs to the dog, so it's bed. The dog's bed. Right, okay. What are we on now? Question number 8 or question number 9, I think. Question number 9. You haven't used double jeopardy yet? I don't know. Let's activate it anyway. Something their grandmother is very kind. Now they're talking about the grandmother, and the grandmother belongs to them. So it can't be this there, because this is talking about a place. It It can't be they are. They are grandmother is very kind. That doesn't make any sense. So it must be this one. The grandmother who belongs to them. Right, number 10. Oh, does anyone know what these birds are called? We call them penguins. Penguins. Okay, now then. They are penguins. I think that's correct. Let's just try this one. They're penguins. Belongs to them. That doesn't make any sense. There. Oh, it's not saying the penguins are over there. So it must be this one. They are penguins. Okay, question 11. Oh, now we don't know which one is speaking. Maybe the one on the left is speaking or the one on the right. We don't know. But whoever it is, they're saying, I'm smarter than him or than him. But I know it's not then, so it must be than because it's a comparison. They are comparing. Okay, well, that's the end. Game ended. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so that's the end of the lesson for today. I hope you all enjoyed it. Remember, you can watch the video again at any time. And like I always said, practice makes perfect. Keep practicing with your English, okay? Keep speaking English with your friends as much as you can. Listen to English, watch YouTube, okay? The more you practice, the more you will get much better at it. Okay, everybody, so take care. I will see you all next week. Remember, keep washing those hands. Keep your face covered every time you go out to the shops. Okay, and stay safe, everybody. And I'll see you for the next Facebook Live lesson next week. Okay, bye-bye, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.